Alright guys, so right now let's just go to the next step of this video and let's just try to understand stream in a little more detailed way. But before we go further, I have a question for you. Okay, so don't see anything, like if you're taking any kind of notes, don't see your note. Answer me this question: what is the use of a consumer in Java? Okay, so we have already used consumer in the forEach method, right? Inside the forEach method parenthesis or the parameters, we are passing a consumer. So what basically a consumer does in Java? Write it in your own words in the comment section, okay? And let me know about it. This is just a question just to check if you understand about the consumer functional interface, okay? Just let me know the work for it right below the comment. I'm going to be checking it out. Okay, now let's just come back to our topic, and here I'm going to be telling you about a new concept right now in Stream. But before that, let me create a new class over here. Okay, I hope you guys can see me well. I'm recording. Yeah, I'm recording. Okay, so let's just create a new class over here, and I'm going to say test4. Okay, inside the test4 class, imagine I have a main method. Okay, and I'm going to be minimizing this right now. Okay, right now what I'm going to do, first of all, let's just forget about stream. Okay, let's just try to create an array over here. Okay, let's say we have an array. What kind of array? Let's say integer array. We have an integer array of numbers. Okay, let's say some numbers we have, and what kind of numbers we have here inside this array. Let's say we have some numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, and let's say 10. Okay, so we have some numbers here inside an integer array. Let's say right now if I'm going to give you a requirement that, hey, just go ahead and find and print each numbers from the array which is greater than 5, then how you will be solving it? Well, pretty simple, right? You say, okay, this is an array we have, so we have to iterate each element of this array and we have to check whether it is greater than 5 or not. Okay, and we have to print it if it is greater than 5. So first of all, I'll have a for each loop like this, and I'm going to be taking these numbers, okay, and finding each number out of these numbers. So I'm going to find each integer which is present inside the number, okay, and then I'm going to be printing it out. So I'm going to say sout and number. And right now, let's say if I'm going to say printing number, okay, and I'm going to print the number over here. So if I'm going to run this, right click, run this, you know what it is going to print. It is going to print every number which is present inside this array right now. Right over here, here goes the output. So now I need to specify the condition here. So I can specify a condition. As I said, I only need to print the number if it is greater than 5. Okay, so from this array right now, I'm going to keep on iterating, and I'm only going to print it with respect to if the if condition executes. Okay, and in the if, I'm going to filter out the number if the number is greater than 5. Okay, there you go. Pretty simple. Run this, and I think we're going to be getting the numbers 6 to 10 over here. 6 7 8 9 10 is the only number which we're printing, because once we iterate, we're going to be having some kind of a filtering over here which is going on and checking if the number is greater than 5, and then only it is printing it over here. Pretty straightforward. Right now, this is the conventional way of doing the filtering, right? But when it comes to the latest Java, okay, we have the beautiful Stream API, which can help us to do the similar thing in a much better way. Okay, so here you can see we are iterating by ourselves. We're writing the forEach loop by ourselves. So it's kind of imperative kind of programming, or what we call this is kind of we are doing the things. We are iterating the numbers here one by one, and we are basically checking if the number is greater than 5 and then printing it. Rather, here, instead of doing this kind of thing, we can also use stream API to achieve the similar kind of thing. Okay, so first of all, how to achieve the same thing with stream API. First, you tell me you know about stream API right now. Let me just get some white space. Okay, now let's say if I'm going to iterate each element that we have inside this array, then what I can do. Okay, so I can use the forEach method of the stream API. But in order to use the forEach method of the stream API, first of all, we need to set up a stream pipeline. As I said, stream is something like a data pipe where the data will keep on flowing through. And right now we want to set up a stream pipeline where the data or this integer object like 1, 2, 3, 4 will keep on flowing in that pipeline, so that we can iterate over it and we can print it and we can do some kind of filtering. Okay, so first of all, this is an array. This is a data structure where we are storing all our numbers, right? So first of all, what we need to do, we need to use this array as a source to our stream. Okay, as I said, stream is not kind of a data structure. Stream will not contain the data. So stream will need some source of data in order to process it. So now stream is used for processing the data. So now, first of all, with respect to the numbers that we have, we need to create a stream out of it. Okay, so now what we can do, let's say we can do something like this. It's an array, so we can use arrays dot, I think we have a method called stream. You can see we have a method here called stream. So this stream method returns what is a stream of t it is going to returning. So t array we have to specify. T means it could be anything. It can be a string, it can be an integer, it can be a float, double, or whatever, right? So I'm going to use the stream. I'm going to pass in this integer array that I've created over here and put it over here. Now this array is a stream method. Right now I'm going to convert this integer array to an array of stream. Handle the return type, Control Option V, and there we go. Okay, I just want to get it down. Okay, now you see we got a stream of integers over here, and there goes our source, right? So we have a kind of pipeline which is set to this bunch of integers that we have right now, where inside the data pipe one object will go through, like 1 will go, then 2 will go, then 3 will go, then 4 will go, like that. Okay, we have a stream of integers right now, which is available over here. Okay, now we want to do what? We want to print it. You guys know already how to print it, right? So the stream, this will do a kind of iteration, just like the forEach loop that you have written over here. Similar thing, the stream of integers will do. One by one, the data will come right now. So I'm going to use the stream of integers, and I'm going to take each of the numbers out of it. And for each number, I'm going to consume it. So I'm going to consume the number, and I'm going to print it out. So I'm going to say s out, and I'm going to print the number over here. There we go. Okay, so that's it. So if I'm going to run this right now, all right, it is going to print all the numbers that I have in my stream pipeline. So 1 to 10, everything that I have in my source, the stream has just processed it using the forEach method over here. Okay, so now the next thing that if you're going to see are other lines of code, the imperative kind of approach that we have followed over here. Here, imperative means we are doing everything by ourselves, right? Like we are only iterating the numbers. Okay, and here we have written our filter logic, right? So here we have written our filter logic, and when the filter condition is satisfied, then only we are printing the number. So how can we do similar things over here? So here we're kind of doing some filtering, right? If the number is greater than 5, then only print it. And we can do the exact same thing here as well. Okay, so now what we can do, once we get a stream of integers, and before we print it, what I can do, I can basically apply some filtering logic over here. So this is a stream of integers which has all this number right now. So I will take this stream and I'll filter it out. Okay, I'll filter out, I'll take one number and we'll check if this number is greater than 5. So there is something called a method called filter, as you can see, which takes a predicate. Okay, I can have this method called filter, which will help me to filter something out. Okay, so if you're going to see the filter, so here I can basically write my logic. So this is the logic according to what I am going to filter out the numbers, right? If the numbers are greater than 5, I'm going to filter it out and I'm going to create a new stream out of it. Okay, so now this is giving me an error because this filter takes a predicate as a parameter. So as you know, predicate is again a functional interface, right? This is something wrong. You cannot pass number greater than 5 directly over here. It's not taking a boolean. It's taking a what? It's taking a predicate. Okay, so the predicate is what? So the predicate is something which we can use in Java in order to evaluate something if it is true or false, right? So predicate is going to help us to make some conditional checks, and that's why the filter is using a predicate as a parameter. So we can create a new predicate over here. You can see I'm getting a new predicate option here. So I'm going to create a new predicate object, but understand that this predicate is a functional interface, which is a method. Okay, we have to override that method. We cannot create the object of the predicate because it's an interface. So let's just double click on this. You can see now I'm creating the new predicate of an integer. Obviously the stream of integer is going to give us one integer. So let's say it's going to get us one integer called 1. Then on top of 1, I'm going to apply this filter. I'm going to accept the integer. I'm going to take that integer and I'm going to check, right, if that integer is greater than 5. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so this is a condition. This is a filtering condition I'm going to have right now. So predicate, as I told you, predicate is a functional interface. Okay, and predicates is basically have a method called test, which basically take any kind of argument and you can process that argument after that. Let's say you're going to accept an argument, you can process it, you can check something with that argument and then evaluate a condition and return a true or false, just like we are doing it over here. So we are creating the predicate object over here, overriding the abstract method test, taking an integer right over here and checking if that integer is greater than 5. Okay, and with respect to this logic, our filter will function right now. And what this filter will do, it is going to, if I'm going to do command option B to handle the return type here. Okay, if I'm going to select this command option B, and if I'm going to handle the return type, look at this. What it is giving us, it is giving us a filtered integer stream. Okay, so let me just take this to this side. Okay, now have a look on this, what it does. Okay, so I think it's pretty straightforward right now. You just see the code over here. First, we are creating the source over here, right? We are giving this integer numbers. We are getting a stream of integers here. Then on top of that stream of integers, we are applying the condition. So the stream of integer will process each number one by one. Let's say 1 will come over here. We're applying the filter. We're going to accept the 1 over here, and we're going to check if that 1 is greater than 5. If yes, if this condition is true, then we're going to be storing it inside another stream. But in our case right now, this 1 is not greater than 5, so it will be thrown out of the stream. Okay, then again it will take 2 and we'll check if it is 2 is greater than 5. Now 2 is also not greater than 5, so it will be thrown out of the stream. So like that, when it's going to check the 6 is greater than 5, right? So this is satisfying this condition, so it is going to store it within this new stream that it is returning. Now the filter method is creating a new stream of integers where it is going to keep all those elements which satisfies this condition. Now what we can do, we can take this filtered integer stream returned by the filter and can run a forEach method and can print each number which is present inside this filtered integer stream, which is over here returned by the filter method. Okay, let's just see right now. are we getting the exact same thing over here that this things returned me previously? Okay, so here let me just run this first and let's just see whether our declarative code is working right now or not. And as you can see on the output console over here, we get our desired output. Okay, so that's pretty much it, right? So we are not iterating the things by ourselves previously the way we do over here. Okay, that's why this is imperative code, and here using the stream over here, the stream is going to do the iteration and going to send one object over here so that we can apply our filter logic. So this is like declarative way of coding, right? We're gonna go a little more depth into it, but I'm just giving you some basic ideas on that. Just want you to hear this term so that we can we can have a look into that in the later part of the section. But I think this looks good. So what we are basically doing over here, so I'm gonna walk you through the presentation a little bit. Okay, so this is what we understand. So we have a source over here. Okay, imagine is setting up some integer source 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I have used the stream.off method over here to create my source of stream, but in our previous case we basically used an array which is basically a source of our stream, which have the exact same numbers. Okay, and in our destination, when all these numbers will be processed using this pipeline, using this data pipe, in the end, this forEach method is basically going to collect all the number and going to print it out. Okay, so the numbers are going in the stream pipeline just like this. It'll be just like a belt, as I said. It'll be processed one by one through this pipe. Okay, it'll be keep going through the pipeline, and here in between this source and destination, we're going to be having some intermediate operations like a filter method. You can think like I have set off a kind of worker or a labor or a guy or something like that. Okay, you treat this guy, treat this filter is just like a person. You compare this filter like a person only, right? This guy is just standing in the middle and doing some intermediate operation. So every number which will be processed right now, it will be processed through this filter. Okay, let's say 1 is going to be processed through this filter right now, and the filter has some logic. Okay, this guy is going to check if this number 1 is greater than 5. Okay, and if it doesn't, it will not allow to process through the pipeline. So it will be going away. It will be throwing it out of the pipeline. And like that, let's say the next number is 2. It will again come to the filter. If it doesn't satisfy the criteria, it will be going out of the stream pipeline. Like that, each number that we have in the pipeline will be coming one by one to the filter, and the condition will be checked, and in case it doesn't, it will be thrown out of the pipeline. But let's say here we have a number 6 which is greater than the number 5, or it satisfies the condition that we have in the filter. Now the filter will be basically processing it in the pipeline and will be collecting it using the forEach method and will be printing it to the console. Just like that, 7 is also passing the condition, going through the pipeline, going to the destination and getting printed. And all these numbers right now will be processed because the condition here is matching. So the filter is basically processing the number forward through the pipeline. I think you understand this, right? So the filter is kind of an intermediate operation which basically stays between our source and our destination. I hope this makes sense, right? So if you're gonna go back to our IntelliJ and if you're gonna improvise this code a little bit more, so basically what I want to do, so this is basically my stream of integers, right? Can I just do one thing? This filter that we have is basically takes a predicate, and the predicate is a functional interface. So can I convert this method? Can I convert this method to what? To lambda? Absolutely, I think we can. So we basically remove everything from here, the method name. Okay, just remove everything and remove the end parenthesis, give the lambda symbol, and that's it. Okay, and one more thing we can do, we can take everything to one line. Okay, like this, take it to one line, and take this filter and break it to one line, something like this. Okay, and as I said, this filter you are running on top of the stream of integers, and this stream of integers is obviously going to give you all this integers, so you don't have to specify the integer type in your parameter. So the filter knows that you are accepting an integer, and you're going to be comparing that integer with some conditions. So you are comparing that integer whether it is greater than 5 and returning that. So you don't have to write return explicitly. You can remove the return and the curly brace, and you can also remove the return and the curly brace. So this looks more simpler. Okay, so in the filter, I'm going to take an integer and going to check if that integer is greater than 5. So this is basically what it returns, right? Integer greater than 5. Let's say if it is taking 1 is greater than 5, this will be false. Okay, then 1 will be thrown out of the pipeline. So this filtered integer stream will not contain 1 inside it. Okay, so the filter is basically giving you a new stream object where it will contain the filtered stream. Okay, so the filter is not modifying the original stream. The stream of integer contains all these numbers, right? Because this is the source. Now the filter is taking that source, applying a filter, some conditions, and accordingly it is giving you a filtered stream. Okay, just understand that the stream objects are immutable like string object. You know string in Java, right? So when you concat a string in Java, it basically creates a new string, just like that. The filter, the stream object that we have, if we apply some conditions like this filtering condition, this filter is returning you a new stream object, right? So it's going to return you a new stream object which contains the filtered integers, right? So the stream is immutable in nature. Understand that. Okay, now we're going to take the new stream and we're going to be capturing it, and we're consuming it, and we're basically printing that number. Now what I can do, this forEach, I can basically chain it, right? I can, as I have told you previously, I can chain it with my filter, and the forEach method does not return anything. It returns a void, right? So I should remove the return type of it. Okay, now look at this. You have the filter, you have the forEach, and there you go. Stream of integers, first integer 1 will be picked, the filter will be applied. Okay, and if the filter will be applied, if the condition passed, it will go to the forEach loop and will be printed. Okay, in case the condition does not match, it will be thrown out of the loop. The forEach method will not be invoked. then again the number 2 will be picked because the stream of integers one by one will be processing the data. So then 2 will be checked over here. If the condition matched, then the forEach method will be called and this will be printed. Okay, and like that it will be keep on iterating. The stream will be keep on iterating your source, and every number will be processed and then will be printed to your console. If I'm gonna run this, it works fine, but you might have a confusion right over here. So I'm telling you every number will be processed one by one. So let's just see if that is happening or not, right? Because lot of people think in this way. So for an example, if I'm gonna go back to the previous the way we have written our code previously, like this. So it is very obvious that if we as a beginner will see this code, the way we think and assume the things over here, let's say the arrays.stream basically is taking the source, returning you the stream of integers. So what people think, this stream of integers means it's already going to contain everything 1 2 3 4 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, every numbers it has right now. And then we are taking that stream of integers right over here and we are applying the filter condition if the integer is greater than 5. Now all these numbers will be passed through the filter, and what they assume that the condition will be applied, and this filtered integer stream right now going to give me this thing 6 7 8 9 10 which are greater than 5. So filtered integer stream at a time will return 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, then the forEach method will take 6 7 8 9 10 and will be printing it over here to the console. This doesn't happen in that way. To make yourself understand, to prove it, what I'm gonna do, just see this very carefully. So we have our source over here. Okay, this is our source. Now I will just change the method just for making it more real time, and I'm going to remove this semicolon over here and I'm going to put it in this line. So we have our source, then we are applying the filter, then we're applying the forEach. Okay, so I'm also going to do one more thing. I'm going to use something for debugging. So maybe I can use something a method called pick. This pick method is just going to help me for debugging purpose. Like I just want to print something to the console, right? Before the filter only, I'm writing this pick, and this pick will take a consumer, just like your forEach method right over here. Okay, so here I am just going to write one statement here, just something like this. Let's say processing. Okay, it's going to take a consumer, right? So I'm going to take a number that is coming from the stream of integers. Like the stream of integer is going to get me the number 1. I'm going to take that number and I'm going to be writing, I'm going to just print, I'm just going to be printing it. I'm going to say number, let's say print, or let's say processing a number, and I'm going to print the number here. Okay, let's say number. Okay, now you see we have processing the number num. Okay, and here in the filter, instead of writing one line of code, I'm gonna do one thing. I will be wrapping this thing inside a curly brace. Okay, and I will be returning this thing, return this. Okay, and I'll be giving my semicolon. Okay, and here I just want to write a log here. Let's say s out, and let's say applying filter condition. Okay, on number. Okay, and I'm going to be printing out the integer over here. Okay, the integer I'm taking, and I'm going to say applying the filter condition on the number, and I'm going to be printing that number over here. Okay, and then here I'm inside the forEach method, right? So here also maybe I'm going to take the number, and here I'm going to be putting it inside a curly brace, something like this, and here I'm going to write one more statement. So sorry, I'm going to end it over here, and inside this inside this statement right now, inside this code block right now, I'm going to write another s out. Let's say inside, let's say printing the number, okay? And who is printing it? Let's say the forEach method. So just creating some log for better understanding. Let's just see what is going to happen right now. Okay, I'm gonna run this and look at this. Okay, look at your log right now. First, processing the number 1. Okay, as I've told you, right now the stream of integer pick the first number, and the pick method is just printing this to the console. Okay, processing the number 1. Okay, and then the filter condition, applying the filter condition on 1. So you can see applying the filter condition on 1. So right after the pick method, for the 1, the filter method has been invoked. Okay, and right after that, the forEach method, you can see printing the number that didn't get called. Then the forEach method didn't get called because this condition did not match for the number 1, and obviously for the filter, this condition does not match, right? Integer is greater than 5, 1 is greater than 5, this false. That's why the forEach method didn't invoke. Like that, you can see the pick method has been called. The pick method has been called for number 2, then filter method has been called. Then obviously the condition didn't match. Then it moved to the number 3, then it moved to the number 4, then it's moved to the number 5. It's processed the number 5 using the pick. Then the filter has been applied. Then the 5 is greater than 5, that's also false. And it also thrown out of the pipeline. But right from the number 6, you can see the forEach method is getting called, right? So right from the number 6, when the number 6 has been processed through the stream, the pick is printing this, processing the number, where is that? Processing the number 6, pick is printing this, then filter has been applied for the number 6. You can see applying the filter condition on number 6. And then the filter condition matched over here. The 6 is greater than 5, this matched. Now the forEach method got called, okay? And now the forEach printing the number. You can see forEach printing the number, and then it's actually printing the number, which is 6. And now the same happens for the number 7. First pick, filter, forEach, okay? Then pick, filter, condition matched, forEach, okay? And now you can see the forEach also called for the number 9 and number 10 because the filter condition matched. So now you understand now how basically the data is flowing in the stream pipeline one by one, right? In the stream of integers, the stream of integers that you are getting out of this number, this is the source. This array is the source. Out of that, you are creating the data pipe, and the numbers are getting processed one by one. And we are now not talking theoretically. You can see it live over here with the help of this code, right? I hope this makes sense. Guys, the explanation that I have given you about the filter and way we have set up this stream pipeline, I think is pretty much makes sense. Every numbers from the source here will be get processed through the pipeline and will be passed through the filter, right? And we understand that how it works in the last slide. Only one thing I want to clarify here, which is very important. Whenever you see this diagram, is pretty easy to understand how things basically works in stream. But always remember that this diagram is not 110% true. Why is that? Because here we can see one data pipe which is basically set up by our source, which is stream of method. For an example, the source can be anything. Now this source that we have created, this source is let's say stream of, like this we have created this source, or arrays of stream, or with this we have created this source, or we're using any collection to create this source. Make sure this source is always going to be immutable, because the of method is going to return you a stream, and the streams are always going to be immutable in nature. That means the original source that you have, that cannot be changed, right? So even though you are applying this filter over here and filtering out the number, let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, whatever number that you have, that will be keep on processed through this filter one by one. But this filter, after filtering, it will set up a new data pipe. Okay, it will basically create a new stream object, right? But here you can see it is only one data pipe is there, only one stream is there. It's very good for understanding. You can think like all the numbers will be passes through the filter and then will reach to the destination. But always remember that the filter, the stream it returns is another stream, is another data pipe or something like that. Visualize that by yourself the way you can. But this data pipe has been set up by our source, which is stream of method. By looking into this diagram, it feels like, okay, I told you that, right? If a number will be processed through this data pipe, if the condition does not match, it will thrown out of the pipeline. Don't imagine like it will be thrown out of the pipeline means from the source the 6 will be removed. No, the source is immutable in nature and the numbers cannot be removed from the original source. That's why the filter basically creates a new data pipe or new stream. It basically creates where it will be only be passing the filtered number. Okay, so you can think like this is another data pipe which is set by the filter. Okay, the filter will never modify the data here in the source. Just remember that, just for understanding. Okay, otherwise this diagram works great whenever you are learning the stream API and whenever you're understanding how the data basically processed one by one through the intermediate operations like filter in a stream pipeline. Okay, so let's just see another use case right now. Okay, so it's pretty simple. So imagine we just see this line number 7. Okay, imagine we have an integer array right now which has numbers from 1 to 10, and I have a requirement. I want to print the numbers which are greater than 5, just the way we did last time, right, in our last example. So what I want to do. Okay, let me remove all these codes. Okay, so 1 second. So we have done this. So right now what I want, we have this number which is an array. I want to apply arrays.stream. I just want to pass in the numbers. This is going to get me a stream, and on top of this stream I just want to utilize a filter, and I'm going to take the number and I'm going to check if the number is greater than 5. Okay, and if it is, I'm going to collect those numbers and I'm going to print it over here using the number, and I'm going to say s out, and I'm going to be consuming the number and printing it over here. Let's say number. Okay, I'm going to print the number over here. Okay, so that's it. So with this I'll be able to print all the numbers to my console which are greater than 5. Okay, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But right now I have another requirement. I want to do the same thing, but when I'm printing the number, I just want on my output console the numbers that I'm seeing over here, that should be transformed to words. To words. What I mean by that, to words. To words in the sense, if I have 6 here, I want to see SIX, 6. If we have 7 here, you have to convert it in words, like SEVEN, right, 7. If I have number 8, you have to convert it to EIGST. So instead of the number or the integer, I want their conversion to words. Okay, so I want to transform this number to words. So how can I transform this number to words? Okay, I need a transformation right now, right? Just the way you do your body transformation. I want this number transformation to words. And how can we achieve it in Stream API? And for your kind information, we have a beautiful and a straightforward method called map. Using a method called map, you can take a input, take a number, and can map it to something else. Okay, I can take a number and can map this number to a equivalent string. Okay, or maybe something. I can take this and I can map it to something else. I can transform this number to something else. Well, confusing. I'll show you a slide right now. Look at this. Now I have the source. This is the source. And let's say this is the destination. Okay. Here I'm using the forEach method in order to print the numbers. Let's say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 number. Well, let's consider I have 5 number in my source, and then this data will go in the pipeline. Okay. I have 2 workers right now. One is called filter. Okay. This guy is there to filter the number if it is greater than 3. Okay. So otherwise it is going to throw the number out of the pipeline. Okay. And I have another worker here called map. And this guy's job is it is going to convert the number into words. Okay. Let's say if I get a number like 1, it will convert it to 1. Okay. In words. If it get a number like 4, it will convert it to 4. FOUR. Okay. Something like that. If it gets 9, it will convert it to 9 in words. Right. Just like this. So you can treat like in my pipeline right now, between the source and destination, I'm doing 2 intermediate operation. This is one operation in between I'm doing. This is another operation that I'm doing, right? This operation is going to do what? It is going to filter out the number, and it's going to get you a filtered stream. And then once we filter the number, let's say right now the number will be filtered. Let's say 1 and 2, as per this condition, will not be passing through the filter, right? Because 1 and 2 is less than 3. Okay, so let's say 1 and 2 and 3 will not be passing through the filter, I believe. We only have 4 and 5 which are greater than 3. Now the filter will pass 4 and 5. Then there is another worker over here. Imagine this is the worker, this is the worker. There are 2 guys sitting in your pipeline right now. So once you process a number in the pipeline, this filter will be basically filtering the number, and if it passes the number, the map is going to convert that number to words, and then the forEach is going to print the number whatever the map is returning. Okay, so we're going to be setting off this thing right now in our code base. So first of all, it works something like this. One will be processed. This will be vanished over here, right? Then 2 will be processed. Condition failed. Condition doesn't match, so this will go away. 3 is greater than 3. No, so it will be vanished over here. It will be thrown out of the pipeline. Now, if we have 4 is greater than 3, so the filter condition matches. So it is going to be processed next. Now the map is basically over here going to check, okay, this 4. So it is going to transform this number to 4 in words. Then it is going to be given to the forEach, and the forEach is going to print it to the console. Just like that 5, the condition matched over here, goes to the map. The map will basically convert and transform the number to 5 in words. And then this goes in the pipeline, and we will be printing 5 in the forEach. Okay, so this is how a kind of a pipeline will set up. So we are saying pipeline. Why we're saying pipeline? If you're a developer, you must be hearing this word called pipeline every day. If your product owner is giving you a story, what your manager responds? Your manager responds, okay, you have given us a new requirement, so I'm going to put it on the pipeline. So hopefully in next 3 weeks, you're going to get it delivered, or we're going to get it delivered, or you're going to be getting your stories back. Okay. Or you're going to be getting your stories implemented. So what it means by that? So what it means is, let's say the product owner is giving a story to which needs to be implemented. So the project managers create a pipeline. Okay. Create a story, put it in the Jira or Rally. Okay. And create a story out of it. Whatever the thoughts the product owner is giving. Now that story, which will be created in Jira, that will go through a pipeline. First, the developer will take that story and do the development. Okay. Now the development stage is done. Now then that story will be taken by the tester and will be tested. Then the testing page is done. Now the story will be, now the deployment will happen for the new code to be checked into GitHub or somewhere, right? Then the Jenkins will take the code and create a build and deploy it live. Okay. So right from the thought, like I need to create this functionality, the product owner thought about it. The manager created a story on the Jira or Rally, okay, and assigned it to a developer. Now the developer has done something, the tester has done something, the debug guy has done something, and finally the story has been implemented. So a story, right from a thought, goes into an actual implementation. The story processed through a pipeline like development, testing, deployment, and blah blah blah. Right? You understand? That's why your manager say, okay, you give me that story, give me your thoughts, I'll put it in the pipeline, and it will be done after this many days. Same thing we are doing over here. We are basically processing this number one, but we are basically setting up a pipeline over here. We have a filter here, which is basically filtering something. Then if the filter thing, once the filter things is done, imagine this is a developer. Once the development is done, then same story will be taken by the tester and will be tested. Now the same number has been taken by the map and it is transforming it to words. And then finally, the forEach method is printing it over here, right? Some kind of a pipeline we are setting up. This is what we mean by a pipeline. Setting up multiple workers here in the pipeline, right? We're going to be doing it right now. So let's just implement the same thing in our IntelliJ. A lot of theories over here. Am I recording? Yes. Okay. So what I want, I'm basically applying the filter and printing everything over here. So this is what we're getting in the output. So right now, I'm going to be making sure after the filtration has been done, I'm going to use a map. Okay. And map will take a function. Okay. It's another functional interface. Okay, and what the map function does, if I'm gonna go into the map, okay, the map takes a function, and the function is a functional interface. It takes a input, okay, takes any kind of input and return an output, okay, return any kind of output. That's what we need. Let's say we're gonna be taking a number, but we're gonna be returning, we can return anything. We can return a string in our case, right? So for an example, I'll go back to my code. In the map right now, I'm going to take something. Maybe I'm going to take a number and then I'm going to return something else. Let's say I'm going to, it's not going to single line of code. So I'm going to break it out and then I'm going to return something over here. Let's say I'm going to take a number, but I'm going to return a string, something like this. Okay. And we'll be printing it. Now, let's say, let's say for every number, which will be filtered, and once it goes to the map, I'm going to convert that number to a string. Let's say something, let's say number in word. Okay, I'm going to transform that number. Let's say the filter has been applied on top of a number called 7. Okay, now for the 7, the filter has been applied and the condition match comes to the map. Now the map is taking the number 7 and converting into a word called number in word, for an example. Okay, and the forEach method is going to print it. Now if you're going to run this right now, for every number where the condition match, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we're going to be having it is right now converted to number in word, number in one, number in word. But now we don't want to return number in word. We want to return the actual word for the number. Okay, so maybe I'll write a simplest logic for this number conversion. I'm going to use a switch case here. Okay, I'm going to take the number. Okay, I'm going to take the number like this. Okay, and now for each number, I'm going to write a case. So how to write a switch case in Java? I just even forget that thing. So I think switch, and I can do something like this. I'm going to take the number and I'm going to check. Okay, let's say case. If the case is 1, return 1. Okay, return 1. Okay. If the number which is coming here is, if it is 1, then return 1. Obviously 1 will never come because of the filter that we have applied, but let me write the case for for every number. If the number is 2, then return this in word. Okay, now something like this, Control C, paste it over here, paste it over here, paste it over here, and paste for multiple times. Okay, so that's it. So we are right now applying a filter. Okay, and if the number passes to it, the map function will be applied, and based on the number coming, whether it is 1 or 2 or 3, equivalent string will be replied. Then the forEach method will be printing it. And let's say if nothing matched, if number 12 or 13 or 14 is coming, I'm returning, let's say something straightforward. Let's say numbers in word not available. Okay, something, we're just returning a random string. Okay, so I think this makes sense to you right now. Okay, so now if I'm going to run this, okay, and you'll be looking into this 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So see, your map has taken the number and convert it to a string. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So this is a very easy example to understand. The map is doing some transformation. It's taking a number and mapping it to something. Let's say it's text 1, map it to 1. It's text 6, map it to 6, and then process it further. I think this is making sense, right? What the map function does. Now again, let's just come back and let's just understand some internals of stream and the way it works. Now, guys, I kept on telling you guys the function like filter or map. These are what this I'm referring to these things as intermediate operation. Okay, why I'm saying this is intermediate? Because this filter or map, these are staying in between the source and destination. I'm telling them as an intermediate operation. Okay, and you can see that this map, if I'm going to hover on this, in your documentation also, I think you'll find something. I can see this map is a intermediate operation. Okay, so if I'm going to put my cursor on the filter function, look at the documentation. It is saying this is an intermediate operation. Okay, so what is basically an intermediate operation and how can you identify it? Obviously, whenever you are applying any kind of function on top of any stream object, you can hover on this. The documentation will say it is an intermediate operation or not. But what basically an intermediate operation is, let's just try to understand. Okay, so let's just do one thing. Let's just break these lines into individual line over here, just for some better understanding. So here we are creating our source, right? rs.stream, passing in the number, Control Option V, and we are getting a integer stream over here. Then if I'm gonna break it down over here, the filter, I'm gonna say integer stream. On top of the integer stream right now, I'm gonna apply the filter. And now here what I'm gonna get, Command Option V, okay, and this is what I'm gonna get, right? It's a filtered integer stream right now. Okay, I'm gonna applying some filter over here, and I'm gonna get here filtered integer stream. It's going to create a new stream. The filter method is going to return us a new stream where the filtered logic has been applied, and we're going to be getting the numbers accordingly. Now, on top of this filtered stream right now, I'm going to be applying the map, and this map will do what? Again, the map is going to return me what? A stream. Okay, so I'm going to do Control Option V to Control Option V to handle the return type. Click on this, and I'm going to say it is, let's say mapped stream or something like this. Okay, mapped stream. Okay, and I'm going to resize my code a little bit. Something very fascinating code we have written over here. So I'm gonna hit some tab and take it to this side. Okay, imagine this is my map thing. Okay, so the map method again has returned me a stream called map stream. Now I'm gonna take this map stream and I can basically use my forEach method on top of it, and the forEach method obviously is not going to return me anything. Okay, it's going to return me a void here. Okay, so now if I'm going to run this, the things will work fine. Okay, so the same output you are getting. I'm just breaking this line into pieces right now. Now you understand here, when you see this filter, okay, as I said, if you're going to hover on this, it is saying it's an intermediate operation. So whenever any function or any method, whenever you're applying on top of a stream, if that method is returning you a stream again, you can see the filter method returning you again a stream of integer. That means it is an intermediate function. The intermediate functions always return a stream of something. Okay. For an example, this map. So you got the filtered integer stream. You are applying a map over it. Okay. Again, this map is an intermediate operation. We refer this kind of method as intermediate operation. We are doing some kind of operation with the stream object, but we are calling it as an intermediate operation because it is returning again what? A stream. So when you are applying any kind of method like filter or map or any kind of method that we'll be learning in future, if you see it is returning a stream of something, then be sure that this is an intermediate operation. Okay. Now the question is, okay, why should we learn about this intermediate operation? Okay. So like you are referring this map as an intermediate operation. Do you want to refer the forEach to something else? Let's say if I'm going to hover on this, they are saying the forEach method is a terminal operation. Okay, but the difference here you can see over here, the forEach method returns nothing. Okay, so if a method does not return a stream of something, then this is a terminal operation. Okay, the terminal. So there are two type of things that we understood right now: intermediate and terminal. What we understand so far, the functions like filter and map is always going to return you a stream. Okay, stream of something. That's why we're calling them intermediate. Okay, so like this, intermediate. But forEach is not doing some kind of intermediate operation. It is not returning a stream back again, rather it is returning void. Okay, and we're using forEach to grab the result. So when you use something to grab the result, for an example, the forEach method, we're just trying to print the number to the console. So that's when we say this is a terminal operation. The terminal operation returns nothing. It returns void in this example, by the way. Okay. So I think you understand the difference. Okay. Map, filter, intermediate, because this returns a stream. forEach is not intermediate. It's a terminal operation. Terminal operations means when you want to grab the result, or whenever you want to print the result, right over here. Okay. When you want a result. Okay, when you want a result, right now using the forEach method, I'm printing the result over here. So it is not returning me a stream again, rather it is returning a void. Okay, I hope this things make sense. Now let's just try to see some magic over here. Okay, I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna comment it out. So if you got a little bit of thing, you still have doubts on this intermediate and terminal operation, don't worry. I haven't explained you anything. So keep on watching, right? So I'm commenting out the forEach over here. Now you tell me what will happen. Okay. Now we have an integer stream. Okay. It's basically creating a stream object. Now we are doing some filtering over here. Okay. Let's say inside this filtering, I just want to put some logging. Okay. Let's say I'm gonna put it inside a bracket like this, and I'm gonna say return this. Okay. And I'm gonna end this line over here, and I'm gonna break this line. I'm gonna take it to here. Okay. And I'm gonna write a log. Okay. Like this. S out. Just understand this, very important. You're gonna have a lot of fun right now. See this. I'm gonna say filtering number, and let's say, or I can say applying filter for number, and just concatenate the number that you are accepting in the filter over here. Let's say I'm just putting a log over here. Okay, so I'll just get it to this line. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So Okay, I hope this makes sense. So inside my filter, I'm taking a number, applying some condition and returning it back. And also I'm having this log over here, okay? And just like that, inside my map method, I also want to have a log. Like let's say sout, and I'm gonna say mapping number, and I'm gonna print the number, okay? And inside the map method also, I'm gonna have this, okay? This sout line over here, okay? Looks pretty simple. Nothing I have modified. I have just created one log inside every method. Let's say inside the filter method, I've created a log applying filter for the number, and in the map method, I have applied a log, let's say mapping the number for whatever number you are trying to map and transforming it to the string. You are just going to print that number over here, okay? So this is from your filter method. This is from your map method, the log, okay? Now tell me if okay, so right now if you iterate over the map stream, if you're gonna use the forEach, you know what is the result is going to have. You are going to have the result like this. You're going to be applying your filter for the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and till number 5, the filtering condition basically will be false. Okay, so like till number 5, the data will come one by one to the filter, and data will be thrown out of the stream. Okay, and then from the number 6, okay, from the number 6, let's say number 6 will come to the filter, then the condition match, and it will go to the map. Okay, so from the number 6, both filter and map both will be applied to all the objects that we have in the pipeline, and that's what you can see. From the number 6, first the filter will be applied, then the map will be applied, and the forEach method is basically printing the number over here. Okay, the forEach is basically printing the number at last over here, so that's why you're getting 6. And like that, the filter will be applied for number 7. Next line will be from the map log, then the forEach method. Then again the filter for the number 8, map for the number 8, then forEach for the number 8. Okay, and like that we have all our filter, map, and forEach both are executing and both are in place, and you know the flow of execution right now. Now my question is, if you're gonna look at this code that we have written, if I'm gonna comment out this forEach method, what is going to happen? It's pretty straightforward, right? First, obviously, the stream will be setting up a pipeline. 1 will be picked up. Now the filter will get number 1. Then the filter log will be printed. Okay. Second thing, once the number will be filtered, if the condition match, then the map, it will went into the map, and the map log will be printed. Okay. But we are not actually printing the exact number, so we won't be getting the number. But these two lines will be printed, right? For an example, for number 6, filter log has been printed, map log has been printed, but 6 is basically coming from the forEach method. But 6 will not be printed if we are going to comment out this particular line. Pretty straightforward, right? Nothing to get worried about it. So if I'm going to do Control S, if I'm going to run this, see the output console, and this will blow your mind. And look at this right now. We have nothing in the console. So what do we understand from here? So none of our method, filter method or map method, is getting executed for any of these objects which are present in the in a stream right now. Okay, so what's happening over here? Now that's what you have to understand. The filter method is what kind of method? It's an intermediate operation. The map method is what kind of method? It's an intermediate operation. So for filter, map, for this kind of intermediate operation, which basically returns you a stream of something, which returns you a stream, the intermediate operation returns you a stream. All this stream, the stream is basically lazy in nature. The stream is lazy in nature. So what I mean by that? The stream will be invoked when there will be a terminal operation will takes place. For an example, I told you these are some operation which is basically returning you another stream. But whenever you're going to come to this forEach, if you're going to run this forEach basically will start the execution of the stream. Okay, it is so the forEach method, using the forEach method, what we are doing, we are grabbing the elements which is there inside the mapped stream. The mapped stream basically converted all our filtered integer stream to some stream of strings. Okay, some stream of strings, and has pushed inside this stream object. So we are taking the stream object and we are iterating over it. But whenever we are doing the iteration, okay, once we started doing the iteration, this forEach, the forEach thing, once we started doing, as it is a terminal operation, is basically going to trigger the stream. It's basically going to trigger the pipeline, and the execution going to get started from this right now. Now this will be executed, this will be executed, and then this will be executed. But if we will not trigger the forEach, if we will not trigger the terminal operation, then the intermediate operation will not be invoked. Okay, so in some way the Java is memorizing all our operations like filter and map, which are intermediate operation, and not invoking them till a terminal operation has been fired. But once you fire a terminal operation, then it's basically started invoking the entire the stream pipeline that you have set up. Right? I think this is making sense. So not only forEach, okay, as I said, the forEach is a terminal operation. That's why it's returning void. It's not returning a stream again. But for an example, let's say instead of printing all these things to the console, okay, instead of printing all these things to the console, let's say from the mapped stream, okay, the mapped stream has again a stream of what? A stream of string. Okay, whatever the string the map stream returns, let's say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the stops will be inside it. Let's say if I want to collect whatever they are inside the map stream, then how can I collect it into a list? Let's say I don't want to print it. I want to collect it and I want to store it inside a list, okay, instead of printing them. So how can I do that? I can do map stream. Can you come over here? I can do map stream, okay. Then I don't want to print it. Rather, I want to store all the elements which is there inside the map stream into a list. Okay, so I can use something like called a collect operation, and here there is something called a collectors dot to list. So I'm going to write collectors dot to list. I can write this, and this is internally is going to create a list and going to store all the elements that we have inside the map stream into the list. Okay, now the collect method, again, if you're going to hover on this, you can see it's the terminal operation. That means it will trigger the stream pipeline, and what it returns this time, it doesn't return the collect method returns what? The collect method will return a list in our case, because we are telling us to collect everything and put it inside a list. So if I'm going to do command option B right now, see, it is returning a list of string. Internally, this is creating some kind of list, keeping all your mapped stream objects, whatever you have inside it, inside a list, and then it is going to return me a collect. Now, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to run this, I can see your, everything will be triggered. Your map will be triggered, your filter will be triggered, everything will happen. But your numbers will not be printed right now, because it is not printing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 right now, because we are just collecting it. We can print our list right now. I can just do s out, let's say printing list, and I can print the collect over here, which is a list. Okay, so right now if I'm going to run this, you can see now all our elements right now, which is there inside the mapped stream, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 has been stored inside this list right now. And this collect is a terminal operation which is triggering the list. Okay, so this is another example of a terminal operation. Okay, I'm going to show you another example. So if I'm going to comment this out, you can see your stream pipeline will not be triggered, right? But let's just take another example right now. Let's say so I have my stream object called mapped stream. Copy this guy, come here, and I'm going to do map stream dot. Let's say I'm going to count how many elements are present inside the map stream. Okay, so I'm going to use count right now. This count will get me this time a single value. Count will give me a long, an integer or a long. I think a long it will give. So if I'm going to do command option B, this is going to get me the count object. So I'm going to say s out. I'm going to say inside the mapped stream, let's say this number count, elements are available. Okay, something like this. Okay, now if I'm going to run this, you can see, okay, inside the map stream 5 elements are available, and that makes sense, right? It's giving me the count, how many elements are available inside the mapped stream. And obviously in the mapped stream 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are available, which are around 5 numbers, and that's how I'm getting the 5. And the count is, again, if you're going to hover on this, it's a terminal operation. So what do you understand about the terminal operation? The terminal operation is something which triggers the execution of a stream pipeline, and also the terminal operation ends the stream pipeline. Once you invoke a terminal operation, for an example, once you in the count here worked on the mapped stream, okay, the mapped stream is basically the stream returned by the map method. The map is an intermediate operation, and it basically returns you a stream. And on top of this, you have executed count method. Okay, so once you write the count method, your pipeline will trigger. Okay, but once you applied count, again you cannot basically utilize this stream object again, because the map stream is right now closed. Once the terminal operation has been taken place on top of a stream object, the stream pipeline becomes closed and it is unusable. So right now, if you're going to take this map stream object again, and again if you're going to say map stream object dot let's say forEach, and I'm gonna take every let's say every string which is available inside it, and I'm gonna be printing it. Let's say s out, and I'm gonna say print it. Let's say how can I print, let's say string over here. Okay, now you can see because of this line you're gonna be getting an exception. If I'm gonna run this, okay, map stream, you can see till this much, till line number 44, everything works fine. It is saying inside the map stream 5 elements are available, but the moment you're going to use the map stream again, you're going to get an exception, illegal state exception. The stream has already been operated upon and closed, and it is saying that this map stream already been operated upon, and obviously the map stream has been used over here. Another terminal operation we have used over here, and once we use a terminal operation, this stream is closed. You won't be able to use the stream again. Okay, so the terminal operations are used to have a result. Okay, like the count is produce a result. The forEach method here, it is producing a result. You're printing it to the console. You are using collector, the tool list. You are writing the collect. You are basically producing a result, right? You are capturing the results from the stream and putting it into a list and collecting over here. Okay, so the terminal operation always going to produce a result. That's why they don't return a stream object, unlike the intermediate operation. Okay, like this, the intermediate like map always return a stream, filter always return a stream. That's what you can see over here. Okay, I think this makes sense. So what do you understand over here? The streams are lazy. That's the first thing. Second thing, the filter, the map, we also understood another function like peek. These are going to be called as the intermediate operation. Okay, then we also have terminal operations like forEach, collect, count, which basically triggers the stream pipeline. The terminal operations are used to produce a result. Okay, and the terminal operation which basically triggers a stream and also ends a stream. And once we apply a terminal operation, the stream pipeline will be closed, and we won't be able to use the stream pipeline again. And that's the takeaway from this section. I hope this makes a little bit of sense right now, and I think you understand this. Hey, in this section, we'll try to solve a puzzle with all the understanding that we have taken so far. We'll just try to implement our ideas right now. So here goes the question, okay? First of all, before looking into the question, what I have done here, you remember we have created a class called student, previously in the last video, I think, okay? We created a student class. We have few properties, IDs, name, mobile number, age, and everything. So I've created a few student objects here, okay, by providing the student name, ID, mobile number, and age, okay? I have created an array list over here. I have added all the students to the array list that I have created and have returned the array list. So I have this method called getStudentList, which basically return a list of student that I have created over here. Makes sense, right? So what you have to do, you have a question here, okay? And the question goes like this: print the first student name from the student list whose age is greater than 25. You have to print the first two students that you have in the student list, maybe Avilash and Jatin, or maybe whatever, the first two students, okay? You don't have to print the entire student object. You have to print the student name only, and you have to make sure their age is greater than 25. Whoa, there's so many things going on over here. Can you solve it? You'll be like, okay, Vilas, you taught me about Ramayana and right now you are asking me Mahabharata, huh? How can I answer this? Don't worry, I'll be able to, help you to solve this puzzle. We'll break it down. We'll do it step by step. Okay. So, by the way, so do you love watching Mahabharata? So, in my childhood days, I have watched Ramayana, and in this lockdown period in 2020, I got a chance to watch Mahabharata, and I personally became a fan of the Durdarshan Mahabharata. Okay, I loved the title song as well. I love the one, I think the Start Plus one, the Start Plus title song of Mahabharata even more than the Durdarshan one. But anyhow, it's a fantastic series or a myth or whatever you want to say it. I don't have to say it. Mahabharata is a myth, otherwise people, they're gonna kill me. Okay, but I liked it. So I should cut this part. I don't know why did I say it, but yeah, that's fine. Okay, do you love the title song of Mahabharata? So let me know in the comments. So which one you loved more, the Start Plus Mahabharata title song or the Durdarshan Mahabharata title song? I love the Start Plus one more, I felt. Okay, out of topic concepts. Okay, if somebody is watching this video, who is not from India, they'll freak it like, okay, what the heck this guy is telling about? Okay, let's just come back to the topic right now. Okay, and let's just try to fix this out. Let's just try to solve this particular puzzle. Okay, so first of all, let's just forget about this statement that I have written over here. Just ignore this. Okay, so the first thing that I have to do here, I just want to do this. I want to print all the students, okay, that is available in the list. First, let's just do it. Okay, so forget about this one. We'll come back to this one at last. So first, our job is we're going to be printing all the students. So we have the getStudentList. We can take this over here. It's a static method. I can directly call this. I can use the stream method over the collection, because the getStudentList will get me a list of students. I can use the stream method on top of it in order to get a stream of student back. So now the stream pipeline has been set. One by one, the student will be processed, and I'm going to use a forEach loop, and I'm going to take a student object, right? Because obviously the stream method will get me a list of student, and all the student will be processed one by one. Let's say Avilash, Rakesh, Jatin, blah blah blah, their object will be processed. I'm gonna be taking their object right now and I'm gonna be printing it. So I'm gonna do s out and student object like this. Okay, so right now if I'm gonna do run this, I think I'll be able to print all the students who are available in the list. Okay, and there you go. Student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, blah blah blah. Okay, we have around 7 students available in the list. So I understand. I think that you understand the concepts right now. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do, what I want to print all the student. Let's say print only those students whose age is greater than 25. Okay, this is what I want to do right now. Okay, so I want to only print those students whose age is greater than 25. So I can use a filter right now. I can do a filter. I can take a student object right now. Obviously, you can think like this filter we are applying on a stream, okay? And the student list stream will get me a stream of students, okay? So a stream of student objects. So one object will be passed through the stream. So let's say like this, like Avilas object will be passed, Jatin object will be passed, Rakesh object will be passed through that stream pipeline, right? So in the filter right now, I'm gonna collect one student, one by one. I can collect the student and I can check if the student object dot get age, and if the age is greater than 25, then only I will be printing the student name. Okay, so I'm just setting up a pipeline over here. Okay, and if I'm going to run this, previously I have every student filtered. Even this Chitra has been filtered, whose age is 19, and I think this Jatin has been filtered, whose age is 22, and I think they will go away right now. Okay, and you can see Chitra is gone, and Jatin is also gone, right? We have only this many students right now. I think 5 student has been fetched, okay, which is good. Now the next thing that we want to do, we want to do one thing. We want to print the student name only. Okay, so right now what we're doing, we are printing, okay, let me just write this. Now you do this. Okay, print student name only. Okay, not the entire object. Okay, so now what we are doing, we are printing all the students, right? We are printing this student, the entire data about the student, right? This is the toString representation of the student object. We have overridden the toString method in our student class, right? So we don't want to print the entire student. We want to only print the name, right? So what we get over here is the student object, right? Once we filter here, what we are processing here, the student objects whose age is greater than 25, and then we are printing it. Now I want to print the entire object. I want to transform the student object to a string, the name of the student. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to transform. That means I want to use map, and the map will take an input. Okay, now the input will be, let's say, student object, and then this the student object I want to transform into a string. What kind of string? Let's say the student name. So I'm going to do student object dot get student name. Okay, and so I'm going to taking an input called student object, and this is what I'm returning. I am returning this thing. Okay, so I can, if you don't understand, I can wrap it up like this. Okay, and you can end it like this. So I'm taking a student object but returning this thing. Okay, the name of the student. I can remove the return statement. I believe that you understand, right? If you don't understand, you override the function over here, text the object, get the name of the student, and then return it. Okay, but I think you understand this map method, right? Now that's it. So I'm taking a student object, returning the name of the student. Okay, then this map method will return a stream again, which contains the student's name only, right? And that's what I'm feeding into the forEach, and the forEach method right now will not take a student object. This will work, right? If I'm going to run this will work, because this is just the name, right? You can see it skips printing the name of the student, right? Skips printing the name of the student. Okay, so I can give a better variable name. Instead of saying student object, I'm going to say student name right now and going to print it. This is just the variable name. If you're going to write student object over here, nothing changes because the forEach method working upon the map. And what this map is returning a stream of strings. Okay, a stream of strings. This student, the get student name will return the name of the student. Okay, so this map will convert the student object to the student name, and it will give you all the student name only. So the names are string, so it is going to return you a stream of strings. Okay, stream of student name, and that is what the forEach is fed upon. So it knows that it is going to accept a string and it is going to print it over here. Okay, so just giving a better variable name over here. So if I'm going to run this, it will work fine. Now what I want to do, so it is going to print all the students, right? Avilas, Rakesh, Somik, Priya, Lavanya. Now what I want to do, I only want to print the first 2 students, right? So this is what I want to do. So now what I can do, on top of this map is returning me all the students, all the students name over here whose age is greater than 5. Now I don't want all the student, I want to limit it. Okay, I want to use the limit. Okay, and I'm going to specify I only want the first 2 record over here, or the first 2 student name over here. So if I'm going to do this, the limit is again going to return you a stream. Understand this, limit is going to return you a stream. From the mapped stream, okay, the map has lot of students, right? Lot of students name the map has. Now I only want to get the first 2, okay, or the first 3. That is what I'm specifying on with the limit, and the limit is again going to get me a stream of something. Okay, now it is going to get me a stream of string. Okay, and now I'm applying the forEach method on top of it. So as it is returning a stream again, okay, it's a intermediate operation. So where is that? Is there anything anywhere it's written? It's an intermediate operation. It's a short circuit stateful intermediate operation. Forget about short circuiting, we'll understand that, but it's an intermediate operation because it returns a stream back. Okay, it returns a stream of string where a couple of student will be available. Then I'm iterating over it and will be printing it. So if I'm going to run this, so I'll be getting the first 2 record over here. Okay, so I think this makes sense, right? So this is it. So now if you're going to see this, print the first 2 students name whose age is greater than 25, you have successfully have achieved it using all this method. Filter, intermediate function, map, intermediate function, limit is the intermediate method, and forEach is basically the terminal method, right? I think you understand this. But if you want to kind of, collect, instead of printing it over here, if you want to collect all the students, you can also do that, right? You can collect them like this. You can do collect, and you can just do collectors.toList, and you can import the class for the collectors. So if you're going to do this, this is going to give you a result back. So if I'm going to do this, this is going to give you a list of student name over here. Okay, it's returning you a list of string. Okay, so if you're going to print it over here, you can get the result over here like a list where only the couple of names will be available, which will be Avilas and Rakesh B, right? So the collect is a terminal operation which basically produce a result. Okay, I think you understood this concept pretty well. Let's just wrap up these things right over here. Make sure to practice it. Okay, I just want you to give you an assignment. Okay, you go to the first, the first program that you have created with this course. And right now here in this program, you understand that what is happening here. We are basically using a generate method over here in order to generate something called hello stream. This is going to generate you an infinite stream, and then you are printing it. And whenever you are running this application, okay, it is going to keep printing the hello stream. Okay, but let's say if I want to print only 5 records or only first 5 record over here of hello stream, then how can I achieve it? Can you let me know in the comments? What I will do over here so that hello stream will only be printed for 5 times. Okay, what should I do over here? Okay, you all already know this. Okay, I can just do dot and I can just do limit and I can just do number 5 over here. Now if I'm gonna run this, only hello stream will be printed for 5 times. You understood this, right? And now one last question I have for you. Okay, so the last question of the day, I just typed Java stream on internet and I went into the documentation which is available for Java stream API over here. I'll go to the method section that we have over here and I can see a lot of methods which are present inside the stream interface. I'll go to one of the methods that we have used in our session today, that is limit over here, which basically gives you a stream back and it's an intermediate operation. And if I'm gonna click on this, okay, if I'm gonna look for the text which has been written for the limit method over here, I will find this line, okay. This is a short-circuiting, stateful, intermediate operation. Now my question to you is that, what do you mean by short-circuiting and stateful? I understand the intermediate operation because this returns a stream back. So what do you mean by this stateful? What do you mean by this short-circuiting? If it is stateful, do you think there is some other operations are there which is stateless as well? What is the concept behind it? I won't be answering it today. It's already a long session. Let's just meet in our next session and we will talk about the stateful, the stateless, and the other advantages and the disadvantages of Stream API, and then we will go into the parallel stream. I'm sure that you are having a fun time, and if you have enjoyed watching this video, do share and like this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel. I wish you guys all the luck. Start practicing. I wish you happy coding, and until the next time, bye bye.